There is a fear many people quietly carry inside. It does not shout, it does not scream. It just sits there, quietly, behind everything. Sometimes it wakes you late at night. Sometimes it appears in the middle of a normal day. Sometimes it arrives when life feels peaceful, and for no clear reason, your chest feels heavy, and a thought appears inside you. What happens when I die? It is the fear of death. The fear that one day, everything ends. Your story, your memories, your identity, everything you recognize as me. Most people do not want to talk about it, so they distract themselves. They stay busy. They chase work and noise. They scroll, they watch. They fill their minds so they do not have to feel. But even when you try to ignore it, it does not vanish. It waits quietly in the back of the mind, always there, always watching. Right now, you do not need to run from it. Right now, you do not need to act strong. Right now, you do not need to hide. You are safe in this moment. You are breathing. You are alive. And while you are here, we can talk about this fear, gently, slowly, peacefully. Because what if death is not what you think it is? What if fear has been lying to you? What if the story you were taught about life and death was never the full story? Since childhood, we are given a simple picture. We are born, we live for some time, and then, one day, we die. Start, middle, end. A straight line with a hard stop. So we grow up believing we are small. We feel fragile. We feel temporary. We feel like tiny passengers in a universe that is huge, powerful, and uncaring. We begin to fear everything that might hurt us. We fear losing people we love. We fear losing ourselves. We fear the moment when everything closes. Sometimes this fear hides quietly in the background. Sometimes it rises suddenly and takes over your chest. And sometimes it appears when life is actually going well. Because the more you love life, the more you fear losing it. But here is something important. You are not broken for feeling this. There is nothing wrong with you because you worry about death. It means you care about being alive. It means life matters to you. It means existence feels precious. Fear does not appear because you are weak. Fear appears because your heart understands that life is meaningful. So instead of fighting this fear, for a moment, just sit with it. You do not have to solve it right now. You do not have to fix anything. Just breathe. Feel your chest rise and fall. You are here. You are alive. You are safe listening to this right now. And slowly, gently, we are going to walk together into this feeling. Not to scare you, not to make it heavier, but to understand it, to soften it, to see if there is something on the other side of fear that is calmer and kinder than you expected. Because what if death is not the enemy your mind thinks it is? What if the story of the end is only one way to see it, and not the truth? What if death is not the enemy your mind thinks it is? So now, let us go a little deeper, calmly, slowly, without fear. Since childhood, we were given a very simple idea of life. We are born. We live for some time, and then one day we die. Start, middle, end. A straight line with a hard stop. And when you believe this is the full story, you begin to live with tension inside your chest. You begin to feel as if everything is slipping away. You begin to hold life tightly because you think it will disappear forever. So of course we fear death. Of course it scares us. Of course we panic when we think about it. But what if this picture is incomplete? What if life is not a straight line at all? What if life is a cycle, a rhythm, a flow? Look at nature. Everything follows cycles. Day becomes night. Night becomes day. Seasons change. Leaves fall. New leaves grow. Clouds gather. Rain falls. Then the sky clears again. Nothing in nature is final. Nothing in nature ends forever. Everything transforms. Everything moves. Everything flows into something else. So why would life be the only thing that stops? Why would existence suddenly break its own pattern? You are not separate from nature. You are part of it. You grew out of this universe the same way a tree grows out of the soil. So maybe death is not the end. Maybe death is a part of the same cycle life has always followed. Think again about the ocean. A wave rises. For a short time, it has a shape, a personality, an identity. People look at it and say, that wave is unique. But was it ever truly separate from the ocean? No, never. It was always water, from beginning to end. And when the wave falls, nothing dies, nothing disappears. It returns to what it always was. This is what death may truly be. Not destruction, not vanishing, not nothing, but returning, changing form, becoming part of the greater whole again. Nothing important is lost, only the shape changes. Your story may change, your identity may change, your body may stop, but the awareness behind everything, the presence that experienced your entire life, that does not simply vanish. You have never experienced non-existence. Before you were born, there was no fear. There was no panic. There was no suffering. There was only silence, only peace. And when you sleep deeply, your identity disappears. Your name disappears. Your thoughts disappear. Yet you do not fear sleep. You welcome it. You trust it. So why do we fear death so deeply? Because the mind fears losing itself. The mind thinks it is the center of everything. The mind believes that when it ends, everything ends. So it creates fear, not to hurt you, but to protect its idea of itself. But here is the gentle truth. You are not only your mind. You are not only your thoughts. You are not only your story. You are the awareness behind them. You are the one who sees thoughts come and go. You are the presence that watches life unfold. Thoughts change. Beliefs change. Memories change. but awareness remains. And awareness does not die. It only changes how it experiences life. So breathe. You are safe. You are held. You do not need to fear every thought about death. We are simply opening a door. We are simply looking at fear with calm eyes. We are simply reminding your heart that maybe death is not a monster in the dark. Maybe it is part of the same life that has carried you from the beginning. We have spoken about fear. We have spoken about the mind. Now let us step closer to something deeper, something softer, something more real. Because death is not only a question of fear, it is also a question of trust. Do you trust life? Do you trust the force that brought you here? Do you trust the same intelligence that has guided every breath you ever took? Think about your life for a moment. You did not choose to be born. You did not design your body. You did not control your first breath. Life simply brought you here. And every single day, your heart beats without asking you. Your lungs breathe without permission. Your body heals scratches. It repairs wounds. It keeps you alive. Life has been taking care of you long before you worried about death. So why do we suddenly believe that life will abandon us at the end? Why do we think existence will simply drop us into nothing? Maybe the problem is not death. Maybe the problem is that we stopped trusting life. Look at nature again. Nothing in nature is careless. Nothing is random chaos. Everything follows rhythm. Everything follows order. Everything follows something sacred. A flower does not panic when it closes. A tree does not cry when its leaves fall. The ocean does not fear when waves disappear. They know something deeper. They trust the cycle. And you are part of that same cycle. You are not separate from it. You are not a mistake. You are not a glitch in existence. You belong here. You always have. And when your final moment comes, you will not fall into darkness alone. You will return to the same life that has always carried you. The same life that has never left you. Sometimes we fear death because we think we are only our identity, only our story, only our past. But think about this. How many versions of you have already died in this lifetime? The child version of you is gone. The teenage version of you is gone. Old beliefs have died. Old emotions have died. Old identities have died. Yet you are still here. Something stayed. Something deeper than identity. Something beyond thoughts. Something beyond personality. That something is awareness. That presence inside you that has watched every stage of your life. That awareness is calm. That awareness is patient. That awareness is not afraid the same way the mind is. When you feel fear, it is the mind shaking, but awareness remains still. Close your eyes for a moment. Feel your breath. Feel your body. Feel the life inside you. There is something inside you that is older than your story. something wiser than your fear, something quieter than your panic. And that part of you does not see death as an ending. It sees it as returning. It sees it as going home. So when fear appears, instead of fighting it, try to listen beneath it, beneath the panic, beneath the noise, beneath the mind. There is a softer voice there, a calmer voice, a voice that whispers, "You are safe. You always have been. You still are. You will continue to be." We have talked about fear. We have talked about trust. Now let us move closer to peace. Real peace. Deep peace. Because peace does not come from pretending death is not real. Peace comes from understanding it, accepting it, breathing with it. Many people think accepting death means giving up on life. But the truth is the opposite. When we accept death, life becomes richer. Life becomes brighter. Life becomes more precious. Think about this carefully. If life never ended, would you value moments the same way? If every day was guaranteed forever, would you truly feel grateful? Would love feel as deep? Would experiences feel meaningful? We value time because it ends. We value moments because they pass. We value people because they are not here forever. Death does not take meaning away from life. Death gives meaning to life. A song is beautiful because it ends. A sunset is powerful because it fades. A story matters because it closes. Life is not a mistake. Life is art. Life is a sacred experience, and every sacred experience has a beginning, a journey, and a closing. When we stop seeing death as a threat and begin to see it as part of life, something inside us relaxes. The chest feels lighter. The breath becomes softer. The mind becomes quieter. We stop living in panic. We stop living in fear of losing. We stop counting the days left and start living the days we have. Right now, in this exact moment, you are alive. Not yesterday, not someday, now. Feel your breath. Feel your heart. Feel the life moving inside you. You are not just thinking about life. You are experiencing it. You are inside it. You are part of it. And death does not erase that. It completes it. It closes the chapter with meaning. Sometimes people fear death because they think it is darkness. They think it is emptiness. They think it is nothing. But think about this. Before you were born, did you suffer? Did you panic? Did you fear? No. There was only peace, only silence, only stillness. And when deep sleep comes, you do not scream, you do not fight, you do not cry. You surrender and you rest. So why do we imagine death as something terrible? Why do we imagine it as pain? Why do we imagine it as horror? Maybe that is only fear speaking. Maybe fear paints a scary picture to protect itself. But beneath fear, there is another possibility, a silent one, a gentle one, a peaceful one. Maybe death is not darkness. Maybe death is rest. Maybe death is release. Maybe death is returning to the deepest peace you have ever known. And when that moment comes someday, you will not be dropped into chaos. You will not be abandoned. You will not be thrown into fear. You will be carried, just like you were carried into life. You will be guided, just like you have always been guided. And in that moment, the same life that brought you here will welcome you back, like coming home. We have spoken about fear. We have spoken about trust. We have spoken about peace. Now, let us talk about life. Because understanding death changes the way we live. When death terrifies us, we live tightly. We live anxiously. We hold back. We hesitate. We wait for the right time. We delay love. We delay dreams. We dash living because we think life is something we reach later. But when we understand death, when we accept it, life stops being something we are running away from losing. Life becomes something we are grateful to experience. Suddenly, simple moments become beautiful. The warmth of sunlight, a quiet evening, sharing laughter, hearing someone's voice, feeling someone's hug. These moments stop being normal. They start feeling sacred, because you know they do not last forever. Death reminds us that time is precious. People are precious. Experiences are precious. It reminds you to say, "I love you," while you still can. It reminds you to forgive instead of filling your heart with anger. It reminds you to live with presence instead of always waiting for the future. Many people believe thinking about death makes life darker, but the truth is the opposite. When you understand death, life actually becomes brighter, more colorful, more alive. You begin to live more honestly, more openly, with more courage. You stop worrying as much about what everyone thinks. You stop needing to prove everything. You stop wasting your life trying to impress people who do not matter. Because when you remember that life is temporary, you also remember what truly matters. Connection matters. Love matters. Presence matters. Kindness matters. Money may help. Success may feel good. Status may bring attention. But none of those things can be held in your hands when your final moment comes. What you take with you is not what you owned. It is how deeply you lived, how deeply you loved, how deeply you felt life. Death does not reduce life. Death focuses life. It removes what is fake. It reveals what is real. So instead of fearing death, let it remind you to live. Let it remind you to breathe deeper, to feel deeper, to love deeper. Right now,
Feel your breath again. Feel your heart again. Feel the life inside you right now. You are not just existing. You are living. You are experiencing something rare, something precious, something sacred. And one day, this chapter of life will complete. And when it does, you will not be empty. You will not be lost. You will be someone who lived, someone who felt, someone who loved, someone who experienced the miracle of being alive.
If you are still here, thank you for staying. You have faced a topic most people avoid. You listened. You breathed through it. You stayed present. Remember this: death is not the opposite of life. It is a part of it. One day your story will close. But right now, you are still here. You are breathing. You are alive. So live with gratitude. Love deeply. Be present. Feel your life while you have it. And when that final moment comes someday, you will not fall into nothing. You will return to the same life that has always held you. You are safe. Thank you for listening. Take a breath, feel your heart, and keep living.